Hi, welcome to the blog. In this video tutorial, we will know how to create user role-based login form in MVC with the help of Ajax and JQuery. How to create a custom role-based page authorization using custom authorization filter. In this video tutorial, first of all, we are going to create a database for achieve this task, and then we design some form and code that form. The form will be user registration form, login form, and authorization form, admin form, etc. So for this video tutorial, you first refer to the previous tutorial for better understanding. The previous part 2 tutorial, this is part 3 video tutorial. So first of all, we are going to create one database. For the SQL query, you can refer to our blog where you will find SQL. Okay, now look at the table. These tables will be created. The department, these have two fields, department ID and department name, and notice board, which is useful for displaying a notice, and these have a field of message as well as users, and the user detail, it's holding the user detail and the user role detail. These two tables are responsible for holding a role of user, what user can do, what user cannot do, which method user can execute, which method user cannot execute. Inside of user login, the detail of user, name and user password, and the detail of user will be stored in user detail. So these tables has been created through the SQL query. You can go to our blog and you can download from there, you can copy from there. Now we had already created this database. Now we are going to create our project. So inside of Microsoft Visual Studio, click on new, click on project. Over here, click on ASP.NET framework, select your and give the name of your project. Give the name of your project. Now I am giving a store management system and click on OK. After clicking that, please select MVC, and we are going to create empty template because we will start from the scratch level. Now while creating this project, while loading the libraries file and all those files necessary for this project, first of all we'll know how this system will run. So this controller, model and views 3 MVC product has been added to our project. In view, we have only web config, model empty, controller empty, nothing inside. In app start, we have a root config.cs file and references of .NET everything. Now first we need to create some directories, some folder. So I am going to create some folder over here. So speed thing up, I am going to copy the folder from other same project which I had developed, the shared folder as well as content and script folder. The shared folder will this shared folder will be capturing the layout file. They had stored layout file, and inside of a script we have a Java script, and inside of the content we have bootstrap contents and C# and HTML's reference and style sheet. So I'm just going to copy these things and paste over here. You can create by your own self. How to create it, let's create from ourselves. So create new folder, name it shared. Inside of the shared, we need to create one view, that name is layout view. Add view. Inside of this underscore, the name must be underscore layout. This is just like a master detail form in .NET form framework. Empty template, use nothing, and add to the this. So in layout we have nothing. We just I am going to just paste this code, and I will tell you what is the code is going to do. Inside of this, we had created layout file, the master file. Inside of this, we have just reference of the contents and a script file, and nbware of we are using bootstrap classes for the div, and icon for these menus for the small device menu, icon bar, and container content render body. That's it. These things has been added in a script as a bootstrap min.jsp file. Now add next file inside of the view folder. Add and view. Inside of view, add use layout. Don't use partial view, and view name is underscore view start. So this has been created. Inside of view, we need to refer that this is derived from the layout file. So we have this layout equal to share layout. Now we need to create some folder for a script. This script we need to copy inside of that, and for content we just copy it. Do not copy from the project. So just I will go to the code file, and inside of that I will copy a script as well as content file. Now paste this inside of our main root directory. So we are pasting over here. Now these two files has been added. Now the next thing is we need to create some properties, some controller for the views. So first of all, we are going to create views for registering the user inside of the web page. So create folder inside of the models, name it as database. This folder I had already created in my blog previously. So database, one folder. Other one is properties for view and properties method for view. Add folder. I am looking here because we are going to copy the codes, some codes from that. Rename method, method for view, and create properties for view. Okay, so we will create these three folder inside of our database, our web page. So first paste this. This is going to take some time. folder database. Sorry for the delay, and we are deleting this and also delete this. We will create one by one manually. Now add view to the folder, add class, name it as this is a view for properties, so we are going to give a name of view properties.cs. okay, now view properties, click on OK. Inside of this, first delete this, we don't need this. Inside of this we are going to create some properties for the registering user. So speed thing up, I have this code over here, so I just copy this and paste this. Don't worry, this is not hard code, so obviously this give error message because we need to add the system using attribute system using file which understand what is key, what is required, what is database name, what is required field, these things. The definition of these things is inside of using system dot component model dot data annotation. Okay, now after adding this, see, this all error has been gone. Now key, this required means this field is required and the name of the field is username, and error message you can give here custom error message, whatever you want to give. Sorry. And get set validator for the username, password, first name, last name and gender, and this regular expression of email. So the email must be in this way, has to be written, this followed by @ and the followed by dot symbol and then this error message. So if email is not valid, then display the error message, this email is not valid. Okay, now let's move to the method which will be responsible for saving data in taking data from these properties and saving data to the database. Before that, we need to add some data entity folder, data entity. So just click on new item and inside of data select this, and this name is the name of the this is store db context. So we are going to name it store db context. Now add it, now say next, and this local machine, so local server, choose bookstore, check a connection, it's succeeded. Okay, now click on OK. Now you need to define what the connection string name will be, web config. So book store entity has been provided by the system, but I will replace this by the db context, store db context. Why? Because when you call store db context database objects, this store db context class object, that would automatically refer to the web config for the same name connection string. So if there is a same name connection string, we don't need to give aliases. So click on the next, select the framework, .NET framework, click on next, and now select entire table. We have this table department, I am selecting all those table. So and give where we want to add this inside of models namespace. So finish it. Now we have a link with the database through the entity framework. Now we need to create some method for taking from the user, taking field from the user through this properties and store it into a database through this database connection properties. So how to implement it? Let's see. Just wait. For speeding up, I had already wrote function login view. For this we have already written this. So just copy it and we will paste this file. So I am going to copy this. Now it's came. So close this. Now inside of references, all those things, store db context, this has been added, and all those table has been added over here through the CS file, department CS, notice board CS, store db context CS as this, user login, everything. This is automatically created for us. Now create method for this. Add one class file, and the class file name is, we have method manager. We had given the name method manager. Okay, inside of the method manager class we are going to paste this. Now see, this error message has been come. So store db context, where we have this using, we have this inside of store management dot models dot where inside of database. So this error message has been gone. Now registered user, where is this registered user? We have inside of this properties. So we are going to use this using store management dot model dot properties. Okay, now move to the next. Do we have error? No, we don't have. So now first of all we are going to check this whether the user is exist or not. The provided user is already exist inside of database or not. So we are creating object of store db context. We are doing what? The object of this file, this store db context, this. So we are going to create the object of this, and we are going to return what? The db user login, the whatever the properties of this user login, this one. And we have inside of this we are checking where with the lambda expression m, such that m dot username dot equal username. So whatever the username is coming inside of this, we are going to check with the this database username if it is equal or not. If any, that will be returned to the called function from where it was called. So now inside of add account we are going to just add this account. This function will do, we are going to create this object of the database and store this user login, whatever this user login. Inside of we are going to store inside of this user login of whatever the properties we had set it inside of this view properties, registered user. So these all those things will be stored in user login, user detail. If there is a role, this will be stored in the inside of the role. Now we have already created method, we have already created registered user. Now it's time to create a controller. Now click on a controller, add controller. The first controller we are going to click add is home controller. Why home controller? Because this will in a start this will search for a home index. Okay, this home index inside where you can see this in root configuration, we will see the controller name home as action index. So the system will search for this. So first of all we had created home controller. Now create our next controller, that is we will in this video we are going to call user log. And these things we had already discussed in previous video. We must have to provide controller as last name, so controller must be at the last of controller. Whatever the first you will give that your controller name user log, and the controller will be at the end of this controller. Okay, now we had created controller user controller. Inside of this we want to create a registered view. So we are going to create some public action result what view we are going to create? Register user. Okay, so we are going to say return what? Registered user. We are going to return view, simple view. Now this is for get controller. So STPP get controller, we have this is as STPP get controller. Okay, for the post controller, when the user it will load the view, it will load the page. When user enter the data and post it to the server, then this action result will not work. Then we'll have to move to the other action result, which is known as STP post requirement, post. So the action will be post. So for the speed thing up, I had already created this. So we have this much, copy it, and we are going to save it. We are going to paste it. Now let's see, there is some error message, so we need to add some classes. Class for registered user, so using store management dot models dot properties view, and if there is any method manager, so we need to say using store management dot models dot method for view. Now these two classes, these two, the form authentication, this one form authentication is inside of where? Inside of this is inside of using system dot web dot security. Okay, so now the error has been gone. Now let's understand in detail. We are creating object of the method manager class, and inside of the method manager class we have check user. You can say the definition, go to the definition, nothing we have done over here, we just returning, we had already discussed this. So now next part is, if it is not inside of the check user, if the check user returns nothing, so null, not true, then the method manager add user account with the registered user. Whatever the class, whatever the user has been registered in that view has been stored in where? In registered user object. So that object will be passed to the add user account. Now see the definition of this account. So we will go to the definition, and now we have said whatever the user had been entered inside of this registered user account, this user we are inside of this. So whatever inside of this we are going to store in db contest over here, this db contest user login inside of this. So we are going to create where inside of the db contest user login, what we are going to store username, password, registered date, last login, attempt equal to 0. Now the next one is user detail. Inside of the user detail we need to create first name, last name, gender and email. These all those things has been added inside of these database through the method manager class. Now let's move to the controller. Now we need to create view of this, whether the user has been, whether the user will add this. So add view, registered user, this view will be created, create view, model class will be what, user login. Okay, user login stored in a database, not this. You have registered user, this one, and this one is partial class. No, use the layout file as what, view, inside of shared we have layout system, this, use this layout file, click on OK. Now the system has been added some predefined HTML controls and HTML codes to us. First of all, understand this, the model is stored, our model file is, our model object is what, this registered user. Whatever inside of this view will be stored inside of registered user or check through the registered user. Okay, next we have these things. So we don't need to modify this role ID, role name, so just we get rid of this. Now we need to just we get rid of this much, just we get rid of this. Username is it's okay. Editor 4, if we want password should be entered like asterisk something like that, so we need to change this. Is editor 4 will be simple text box, so we need to pass as password 4. Okay, now next to this first name okay, last name okay, everything is fine. Now the gender, here gender will be displayed on a text box. We need to display this inside of drop down list, so we need to add some code for this. So I have already copied the code, so we just copy this, and inside of this we will get rid of this code, and we'll drop down. We are model such that model gender, we are going to create a list item, select list item, list such that the text is male and value is m, and then these things, these all those things. Now we are providing the link to the back, so we need to provide link to the index page. We are already provided this, so we are going to provide the link for back to the index page. Now we need this index we had already created, but we need index view also. So in controller, in home controller, just double click over here, double click on that and create index view, add view, index reference, this file, add. Okay, so index file has been created. Now the next we need to create one more view inside of home. This has been created. Okay, so user will be now user can save the data. So run this project. Let's run this project. What happened? Let's see. Let's see. So this it is taking some time due to its first time, so it's taking some loading time, waiting for the localhost. Now let's load that and we understand something next of them. Now after this registered user, we will add some login form from where we can log to the system. So we have in home index, we will say home user log to user registered user. So username, let's first create without giving anything. So this name required password action, as these all those things has been created. This has been sent it, email is not valid. So now create something which is already exist, admin. We have already admin, so create this. I have passed all those information a@b.com. Now create it. We have this system will going to check and say name already taken, so we need to pass some new name. So new name, say we are going to say Lily, and the password is same, capital LLY Lily. Okay, this things is fine. This I say it's a female and everything is okay. Now the welcome controller is not written, so it's redirect to the welcome controller. So we need to create our one controller over here, that is welcome view. We need to create one view inside of the this add create. First stop this and create add view. So this will be returning to the welcomes whatever the username will be. So this add view and the name will be welcome. Everything is same. So we have this welcome whatever we have. So the things speed up. We have already done this. Now move to the next to the database. So first see whether the user has been stored or not. User has been stored or not. So this user login, select so now this Lily 7 number record has been added. The detail has been added inside of the detail user account. Now move to the login page. For the login page we will cover this into a next video. So till then, bye, and wait for the